Well, what are your thoughts on the government's handling of democracy? For the first time since the Fourth Republic, we have witnessed instability in political parties, allegedly sponsored by the ruling party. What do you have to say about this, and what are the implications?
I think the implication is that it has made our democracy very, very unstable. It has made the people who no longer have faith in this democracy. People feel that the executive have a way of manipulating elections, have a way of manipulating party participation, have a way of manipulating stability within political parties. Leke Abejide was in ADC. When he defected after creating problem, he went to the APC. Don't forget, it was the APC he went to. When the former speaker and then chief of staff to the president went to Leke Abejide's wife's birthday, he said, stay there and scatter them. So you look down, these are not democratic ethos. They are supposed to be the kind of democratic ethics that are supposed to be displayed by those who very important position within our governance space. And even the president said, oh, I'm happy if the opposition is in disarray. Yes, you should be happy, but it's not something that you project as a policy. You should be happy because it helps you to win, but it shouldn't be a policy. But you see some of the actions of even the commission. You know, you find out that, look, is there a third hand that is undermining democratic system in Nigeria? Because even with this Justice Lifu's statement of the registration, after parties have conducted primaries and all that, democracy have not really traveled well under this current administration. They were the one who, you know, when they were in the opposition, they talk about a lot of things about government oppression, government this. But today, they are with the power, and they are doing something in reverse, something they preached against. So I think power comes with responsibility, and with great responsibility. Power is not given so that you hold power for the benefit of your family. Power is given so that you use the power for the good of the majority. And that doing that is that you must deepen democratic culture, you must allow the space to expand, you must allow inclusivity, and you must allow people to have free, fair elections. We've not seen free, fair elections. The president have never condemned the vote buying we see with the one we saw in Ekiti. I know that he has never. Neither his spokesman. The only thing the spokesman does is how to reply to P2B tweet. That's only what they do. That's only when Bayolanduga said we are running a parliamentary system, that P2B was wrong to ask that the president resign. So when did it become parliamentary system? When Jonathan was there, was it not presidential system? It was presidential system, and the president asked Jonathan to resign. Power is a responsibility, it's not a gift. It is a responsibility to do things right. And if you get to there and you cannot do it right, the honorable part is to resign. Where we copy this democracy from. The honorable part is to resign. But holding on to it as if it's a birthright. You are not there to represent a family or represent a tribe. You are there to represent Nigerians. Whether they are in Biras, they are Igalas, they are Idomas, they are Igbos, they are Yorubas, they are Hausas, they are Fulani. Whether they are Birons, whether they are Angas, Igede, anybody, that is where you should hold power for, and you must be fair to all of them. So, as we speak today, democracy is not... Today, people have perception, and this perception is created by people in government. That the next election, you won't go contest with them, the election no go they fail, you no go feel win them. That's the perception they are creating. So, if vote does not count, so what are you saying you have deepened democracy? We need to be able to see that their body language does not look as if there's an attempt to rig the 2027 election. And I want them, I'm telling them, the kind of hunger on the street might lead to the way that people might be so angry when you attempt to rig the election. They shouldn't take Nigeria for granted. Nigerians are prepared to save this country. And the only way they can save this country is through a peaceful way, by queuing on the day of election and voting for the candidate of their choice.
Now that you've talked about rigging of elections, many a times the electoral umpire had been dragged into it. Is INEC as an institution fixable? And in addition, we saw 2023 glitches and all that happened. If by any stretch of imagination, INEC is fingered to have compromised the 2027 election, how do you think Nigerians should react?
I don't know why people call 2023 the rigging a glitch. It wasn't a glitch, it was a deliberate act. No, the official, why couldn't they have the courage to set up an independent body to investigate that? They didn't have the courage because they know that digital footprint is not something you can clean entirely. If they have set up an independent inquiry, for people to look at it, which I suggested to the chairman before leaving office, Yakubu, but they won't do it because they know that what they did was against the interest of what Nigerians went to the polls to vote for. There was against. I am telling you that even from the report of BBC Premium Times about the investigation they did in Rivers State, how P2B won that place. That P2B won the 2023 elections.
What do you think about 2027 election? Is there a scenario where you have reflected that the quest to remove President Tinubu has become difficult?
No, it's not. In fact, I'm so happy now that Tinubu has no path to the presidency. In the next 2027 election, he has no path to victory. Yeah, it's something that, people who I do strategy will tell you, don't come to the TV and say it, don't come to public square. Where's the path to presidency? The North that gave him 60% are very angry. They're suffering. He has kept them, he has abandoned them to insecurity. He has not even visited them to tell them thank you or visit them to console them for the loss of life. The North is very angry. They call the North, the extreme, from Katsina, Sokoto, they're angry. So where is he going to get vote from there? He's not going to win Kano. We are going to win Kano. For P2B, where I say this, people should not blame me that I talk about strategy in the public. But I say this because I need to give confidence to those who believe in our process. Because in the 2023 election, do you know that P2B came second in Bayelsa? It's not going to come second in Bayelsa again. It's going to win Bayelsa. Because we are supporting Bayelsans. We are working with Bayelsans to be able to give a new democratic institution to Bayelsa people.
The governor is in APC.
The governor is in APC. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. It's not going to happen. Is the governor more powerful than the Cherokee Dixie? Is he more powerful than all the people that are there? No, the governor does not make the power block alone. The power block within the state is shared. Don't forget. It's shared. It's shared by a lot of gatekeepers. So don't let anybody, delude themselves and say, the leader of our party is not going to make every victory in the state. He will. In Kano, we weren't making any inroad in Kano at all, sir. Today in Kano, we have one of the most experienced and most acknowledged, most loved political leader in the North, Kwankwaso, in Kano. In Adamawa, where we did very well, despite the rigging, we have people like Binani and Co. who are going to be running. So we have made more inroads to where we had no inroads and maintain our stronghold. So I'm telling you that Tinubu and others have no pathway to the presidency. This is a public, that's why you see that they are resorting to insult, to name calling, to harassment, and to intimidation. Because if they leave it on the ballot box, we have maintained all our stronghold in 2023 election, and going into the 2027 election, we are gaining more grounds, more than any political party, more than any candidate. P2B has gained more grounds. They have lost grounds. We have gained. So I'm very confident that Tinubu and his supporters are in panic, including those in the presidency. They are in panic that where is the pathway? I can put the southeast on the ground, put the south on the ground, put the north central on the ground, put some part of northeast on the ground, and tell me which place you think Tinubu is going to win.
So break it down for us. Let's you have your assessment of Obi's likely performance in the 6 geopolitical zones.
I've tried to give you an insight into these things, but I'm not going to be able to do it in a way. People say, Obi is not telling them how he will manage the electricity. He told them in 2023. It's still there. It's on his Twitter page. All the things are there. But there's a way you repeat this too much. These people will come with a document that they have done this thing. But I'm telling you that the APC are no inroad. Even in Southwest, I am telling you, Makinde will win Oyo. Makinde will win Oyo. He will defeat them in Oyo. We are going to do well in Oyo too. But he's not going to leave that place for them. And he has stood his ground to try to defend his constitutional right and the right of his people in Oyo State. All those ones people are saying they are coming to TV, Peter Yofa say, we are working with the Oba, we are working with this one. It's just panic. Because you don't have to say all this if you know you have the way without. So that is going to go down to their vote in the Southwest. So I'm going to tell you that, tell me which other places that they are going to win. I'm telling you, Southeast, we will take it. South, we're going to do extremely very well. Except maybe from one state also. We're going to do extremely very well. In last time, we won Delta by 80%. Today, we might win Delta with 85 or 90%. You know why? The OVA, the former Deputy Senate President Magigi is in the party. He's running for Senate. The former Speaker in Delta State House of Assembly is also running for Senate. The candidate, Chris, is a popular deacon. So we have one more grounds. I tell everybody, please don't panic. Don't listen to them. I can give you the analysis later, but let's get close to the elections and so that we can take them unaware, because they are in panic mood. I have friends with them. I'm telling you, they're worried. There's no access. There's no path of victory for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There's no path at all.
But there are those who also argue that the NDC is not on ground in most of the northern states. How do you respond to that?
Do you know what people call on ground? I told you people, in 2023, how Obi performed that magic. Obi should be given a placard and given an award for the magic he performed in 2020. Because why? Can I tell you this? We are no candidates in half of the federal constituencies, state constituencies across Nigeria. We didn't have candidates. Labour Party had no candidate. So Obi was only the one selling himself that he got that level and won that election that eventually was a glitch-driven election. And later we got 6.1 million votes. No candidate across Nigeria. Today, NDC has candidates everywhere. As of assembly, the ticket was like one of the hottest tickets that Nigeria, just like what happened in the Labour Party in 2023. So you should know that the man who carries that mantle is the man they are following. So because why are people rushing for the ticket? The ticket wasn't on the hot sale before then. So we have more opportunity today than we had in 2023. So when you talk about grassroots penetration, those candidates are grassroots penetration. We have candidates in all of the world, all of the state constituencies. We are going to have candidates in almost all the House of Rep constituencies, all the Federal House of Reps, and all the 9 senatorial districts. These are the structure we talk in politics. There's nothing more. And then we have people who are supporting on their own, who are not candidates. And then you have a situation where, look at the North, look at what recently in the last 2 weeks, you go and take a cursory look of the movement of Kwankwaso. He has been to Jigawa. See, we have more opportunity to win. If we don't win this 2023 election, 2027 election, then it will be our fault. But what we have today, it is enough for us to claim victory ahead of time. I'm telling you, we have more opportunity to win the 2027 election than we ever did in 2023. Because now there are candidates everywhere. Now there are big wigs that are almost supporting the party that were not there before. And now Obi himself, Peter Obi himself, is wiser with the antics of those who are in power, who knows how to, only what they do is to rig. We're not going to allow that to happen this time. Every vote, the vote of Nigerians must count. And that is our focus. That's all the engineering we are doing, all the strategy we are putting into place is to make sure that Nigerian vote counts. If elections are free and fair, you won't win an election like President Bola Ahmed did in 2023, and there were no celebration across the street of Nigeria. People were mourning. You can go and look at it. People were sad, visibly sad across all regions. So when you win an election, you will see that celebratory mood across the country. And I'm telling people today that anybody who is saying that President Bola is well with us and that Nigeria is doing better now under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we should be worried about that person. Because it's the truth. Nobody is doing better. Businesses are closing. No, shops are not working better. Go to the plazas across the country. People are closing their shops. The cost of energy, the cost of transportation, the cost of managing staff is over the roof. So I know, and as an economist, I tell you that small and medium-scale enterprises are the mainstay of any society. So if a government cannot give them that opportunity and cannot create that access to electricity, access to power, access to security, and these businesses are dying, then you find more people in the poverty cycle, which it has always been said that over 140 Nigerians are living in abject poverty. So what has it done? How many people has it moved out of poverty based on the current statistics? There's none. So we can't just be progressing on paper and they'll be giving us statistics that are not reflective of the reality that Nigerians are living in. They are creating an isolated alternative island, a reality that does not exist. And because they are living in a comfortable place with government money, living in the presidency, they should walk the street. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the only one that is not communicating with Nigerians. He's not doing press conference, he's not holding press briefing, he's not talking to anybody, he's not communicating his policy. So we should just be reading his mind. Just like they say we should read Buhari body language And we're ready for 8 years, and people almost died. And when he left office, and you could read Charles Omole's book, you discovered that he wasn't even aware what was happening from the book. Even from the presentation, you read from the book, even from the presentation of his own wife representation in the book, and other people presentation in the book that said that he didn't want the ministers disturbed. That was the body language you read for 8 years. Nigerians wasted 8 years under Tinubu. Under Buhari, 8 years was wasted because we weren't interrogating them more. We weren't interrogating the government more. Today, I think people are wiser and they are interrogating this government more. And they are asking questions, genuine questions. Are Nigerians living better? Are Nigerians faring better? Are Nigerians' life better than when he got into office? Nigerians are asking genuine questions. And the answers is no, 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 no. The answers are all no. Nothing is doing that is working. Schools are not improving. Education is at the poorest and poorest level that is unimaginable for a country of our size and a country with our resources. How they call it, access to ability to be able to go to places that you want to go to freely without looking for police, without looking for security, is diminished greatly. People can't try it. Most people who travel in group now to be able to scale and see how they can pass through to their village. Some of the villages are deserted in Kwara and Co. They are deserted villages. So his condition is bad.
All right, talking about prospects and winning, how confident are you about a free and fair election come 2027? Because with even the Ekiti election that we just saw, people are complaining about vote buying, about intimidation, about manipulation of results. We even saw a man on video who wore a face cap of a political party with lots of money in his hands before security agents, and nobody could accost him. And he even gave money to some of the security agents, and they collected. So what gives you confidence that 2027 election will be free and fair to guarantee a candidate to win?
We have told security agencies. I've told them severally on my media publication. I'm a son of a man who served the military. So I know how their plight, has been, exploited by those in power. And they do it deliberately. Where you find out that a soldier who is a corporal, salary, it's a person to become a corporal, in the army, he must have served 8 to 10 years. So the person's salary is about 114,000 naira. It is from this salary he will feed his family, that he will, pay accommodation, sometimes, if he doesn't stay in the barrack. And that you also pay school fees for his kids, 114,000. So this deliberate weaponization of poverty against the security agencies is a problem. Look at the police. You don't find anywhere where the police are giving gadgets, free of charge from federal government budget, where they are giving uniform, where they are giving boots, stockings, giving caps. They are not giving anything. It is from that their meager sums that they receive a salary that they buy all these things to come to work. So they have weaponized poverty against these people in the security agencies. But I'm telling you, when it comes to the interest of this country, at the end of the day, they will be able to come around and say, yes, it's 176,000 polling units. You are not going to have one group of bad egg of policemen across 176,000. And you are going to see a lot of citizens, involvement in the election that will also deter them from taking actions that will be detrimental to our collective good. And for us, the INEC is not doing enough to be able to, rein in those who are buying vote. Because we saw even an APC chairman in Edo State wearing an observer cloth to do observer. I've forgotten his name. To do observer in the election, and INEC have not issued any statement to that level. In fact, if INEC is not aware that such thing was going to happen, and if INEC is not aware that the organization that was created for the observer tag to observe the election in Ekiti State, but now that they are aware that that organization has been given to an APC person, to an APC chairman, to a publicly known APC member, that we should have seen a statement for INEC suspending that organization from ever participating in the observer mission process for election. But INEC hasn't done anything about that because INEC is trying to act as an accomplice, whether a willing or a forced one, I don't know. But at the end of the day, the action, because action is what people look at. It's not what your statement you write on your Twitter, we are going to conduct free and fair election. Who did that more than Yakubu? Yakubu gave more hope now. how election will be done at the polling unit, how result will be transferred. Yakubu gave more hope. Some parties didn't even want to have agent again, because they felt Yakubu has said it all. Yakubu deceived the people openly, and he was so charismatic about it, because if he explained it, candidates were so happy. People contested, yes, don't worry, you will not be able to rig. Not only that, Yakubu was part of the game. He was part of the people who were going to defend the glitches that occurred. So this is what happened. So going further, we have seen what they can do. And we have seen that they are going to attempt to buy vote in 170,000 polling units, dipping and into public purse. Because nobody's going to get that money, from his bank account. But I'm not among the people, those group of persons who will tell Nigerians to take money is your money and go and vote. No. You shouldn't take the money. Allow their conscience to continue to suffer with the stolen resources. Because you are taking the money, you are already, reducing their burden by making them feel that everybody in Nigeria is a thief. So you shouldn't take the money. You should allow their conscience to continue to suffer and go and do your vote. No vote in a democracy is wasted. So don't let anybody tell you that there's a particular vote that will be wasted. Oh, don't go and waste your vote. Just like what Umar is saying, the Southeast don't waste your vote. I'm telling you that even a voting strength, the Southeast want to mobilize their voting strength is more than 18 million. Across Nigeria, it's more than 18 million. So they shouldn't be telling anybody to dampen their spirit or to try to play political engineering with them, political mind engineering, by telling them not to waste their vote. They never wasted their vote that time. Their vote for the first time drew attention to the Southeast, to the Pløt of the Southeast. Their vote for the first time showed that a people committed to integrity, to capacity, and to commercial trade sense of judgment was brought to bear. Because what are we saying? The Nigerians wholeheartedly supported Peter Obi. Peter Obi is one candidate that will always tell you that I don't want to be suspended because I'm an Igbo man. I wanted to be supported based on my competence, my experience, my knowledge, and what I can deliver for the Nigerian people. And Nigerians woke up to that challenge, and Nigeria overwhelmingly supported him. So it's not a Southeast thing. But today we are going into an election of our lifetime. Election that will be able to give Nigeria a solid foundation, that will be able to manage our create a fiscal responsibility environment, that Nigerian resources will be used for our people. That theft of public fund will no longer be a culture in Nigeria. Because you need a man with integrity, a man who is satisfied, who is not greedy, to be able to manage. If you cannot handle your reserve to a thief and expect safety,